Welcome to the Deep Dive. We unpack the stories behind the headlines, try and connect the dots you might have missed. And today we're diving into, well, a really fascinating paradox. The story of Eduardo Saverin.
Ah, yes, the Facebook co-founder.
Exactly. I mean, imagine this. You co-found Facebook, then you get kind of unceremoniously pushed out.
Yeah.
You leave the United States entirely, only to end up becoming the richest resident of Singapore.
And holding a fortune that's just staggering. What is it now? June 2025.
As of June 2025, yeah, it's estimated at $38.3 billion.
Right.
Billion dollars with a B.
Wow. It really is jaw-dropping.
So the question is, how does someone turn what looks like, a career-ending betrayal into such a massive, undeniable win?
It really forces you to rethink success, doesn't it? What it even means.
Totally.
Because this deep dive, it isn't just about the sheer amount of money. It's about the mindset, the choices he made, often very quietly, and the hidden strategies behind his rise.
Right.
We're going to explore how someone who basically lost his seat at the table in tech,
The biggest table, arguably.
yeah, could transform into this global financial powerhouse. And what that tells us about influence, maybe victory beyond the spotlight.
Exactly. We've pulled together a lot of articles, research on his whole journey. And our mission today is really to distill the key insights.
Let's do it.
So get ready maybe to challenge what you thought you knew about building an empire. Okay, let's start at the beginning.
Harvard, 2004.
The year is 2004. Facebook is just this idea, really. And Saverin, he wasn't just some random early investor. He was absolutely critical in getting it off the ground.
He put in the first money.
Yeah, the initial capital, something like $15,000. And he was the first CFO, the first business manager.
So doing the less glamorous stuff.
Totally. He was the stabilizer.
Yeah.
Handling the legal setup, opening bank accounts, even negotiating those first tiny advertising deals.
He was the bridge, really, between the concept and an actual business.
That's a good way to put it. The bridge from a raw idea to something functional.
And that's precisely why the friction that came next was, well, so explosive. Because by 2005, just a year or so in, the tensions with Mark Zuckerberg just escalated dramatically.
You can see it documented.
Oh, yeah. Emails, legal filings from back then, they show this growing mistrust. Zuckerberg felt Saverin wasn't focused enough, maybe, had other things going on.
Okay.
And Saverin felt like he was being pushed aside, as other people came into the picture.
And this led to the share dilution.
Exactly. A really brutal dilution of his shares. Basically, his ownership percentage was slashed. It dropped from about 30%.
30%.
Down to below 10%.
Wow. For many people, that's game over, career wipeout.
It could have been. Absolutely.
But what did he do? That's the interesting part. He didn't go on a media rampage, right? Which he could have.
No, he didn't fight it publicly. He went to court. Yes, that's true. But he also chose very strategically to negotiate quietly, behind the scenes.
And that worked.
Well, by 2009, the case settled. Confidential terms, so we don't know everything.
Right.
But two really crucial things came out of it. One, he kept a significant stake in Facebook. We don't know the exact percentage, but significant.
Yep.
And two, maybe just as important, his status as a co-founder was legally, officially recognized, locked in.
So it was a quiet victory, but a victory nonetheless.
A very quiet victory, yeah. But looking back, it really laid the groundwork for everything that happened next.
Okay, so let's connect those dots then. Fast forward a couple of years, September 2011.
Right before the IPO.
Months before Facebook's massive, highly anticipated IPO, Saverin makes this move that just electrifies headlines everywhere.
He gives up his U.S. citizenship.
He renounces his United States citizenship. And the reaction, especially in the U.S., was immediate.
Tax dodger.
Pretty much. Pure tax avoidance. The New York Times, others reported he potentially saved hundreds of millions in capital gains taxes.
And it led to proposed legislation, didn't it? The Expatriate Act.
That's right, nicknamed the Expatriate Act. So looking at the research, was it really just that simple, just a cynical money grab?
Well, that's definitely the loudest narrative. And look, there were obviously huge tax implications, no denying that.
Sure.
But Saverin himself, in the few times he's commented publicly, he framed it differently. Less as purely tax avoidance, more as a pragmatic business decision, a long-term strategic move.
How so?
Well, crucially, he'd already been living in Singapore since 2009.
Oh, right. Years before the IPO buzz.
Exactly. Long before the IPO was really on the immediate radar, he saw Singapore not just as, a tax haven.
Although it helps.
Although I'm sure that didn't hurt, yeah. But also as this rising hub for finance and tech in Asia.
Okay. Strategic positioning.
Strategic positioning, exactly. Stability, privacy, access to a whole new frontier of growth in Asia. It kind of speaks to this different philosophy of wealth.
Which is?
That money isn't just about how much you pile up in one country. It's about mobility, how you position it globally. Money as freedom, as choice.
It's definitely seeing the chessboard differently. But still, for a lot of people, it's hard to separate that strategic angle from the optics of avoiding a massive U.S. tax bill. Does that criticism ever really go away?
Probably not completely. It certainly didn't fade quickly back then. But what's remarkable is how Saverin just seemed to let the headlines swirl.
He played the long game.
He played the long game. Think about the contrast. May 2012, Facebook goes public.
Huge event.
Massive. Mark Zuckerberg's ringing the NASDAQ bell in New York, cameras flashing.
Right.
And Saverin, he's watching from Singapore, quietly, as his stake, now legally secure, is suddenly worth around $2 billion.
$2 billion. Just like that.
Just like that. So he basically absorbed the criticism, let it fade, while his fortune just kept multiplying, quietly, exponentially.
And today it's what, $38.3 billion?
Estimated at $38.3 billion.
Richest person in Singapore, wealthiest Brazilian citizen. He wasn't just playing catch-up. He was way ahead of the curve. And that foresight, that ability to see where things are going, that seemed to define his next move, too. Because he didn't try to build another Facebook, did he?
No, not at all. He pivoted. Completely different direction, showing a really different kind of ambition.
Which was?
In 2015, he co-founds B Capital.
Right, the venture capital firm.
Exactly.
Right.
With Raj Ganguly, who was formerly at Bain Capital. And this wasn't just, another VC fund. It was built with a very clear global vision from day one.
Headquartered where? Singapore and
Los Angeles, dual headquarters, spanning the Pacific.
And there's that really interesting partnership they have with the Boston Consulting Group that stands out. Why bring a huge consulting firm into a venture fund?
That's a great question. And it really highlights their unique approach, I think.
How so?
It signals that B Capital isn't just bringing money to the table. They're bringing strategic guidance, deep industry know-how, leveraging BCG's network, and expertise for their portfolio companies.
So capital plus strategy.
Capital plus strategy baked in. And they've been successful. By 2023, they'd raised over $6.3 billion across different funds.
Wow. And investing where?
In really crucial areas. Things like digital health, fintech, enterprise tech, foundational stuff.
So it's like he went from being the money guy for one massive startup,
Facebook,
to becoming a builder of entire ecosystems of startups.
That's a perfect way to put it. While Zuckerberg runs this single massive empire, Saverin's become the architect behind many, maybe smaller, but still globally significant ventures.
Influencing things without needing to be the public face.
Exactly, influencing global infrastructure. Quietly.
It really shows that building that kind of wealth isn't just about one big win. It's about multiplying it, compounding it over decades.
And that Singapore base was key. It gave him access to Silicon Valley and all those booming markets in Southeast Asia, India, China.
He became a citizen of the global investment world, really.
You could say that, yeah.
But, okay, his success isn't just the investments, right? There's this whole other layer. His habits, his lifestyle.
Almost invisible habits, yeah. It's a big part of it.
Since moving to Singapore back in 2009, he's very deliberately cultivated this. Yeah. Understated luxury. Anonymity, almost.
Definitely anonymity. While other billionaires are constantly chasing headlines, doing big interviews, keynoting conferences,
right.
Saverin, he rarely speaks to the press, avoids the conference circuit. He lets the investments do the talking.
And that silence, it's not weakness, is it? It's discipline.
It's absolutely discipline. It protects his focus, protects his attention from all the noise.
So what do people who work with him, say at B Capital, describe him as?
Patient is a word that comes up. Deeply analytical. Relentlessly curious about the business models themselves.
Not chasing trends.
Seems not. He filters the noise, looks for companies with fundamentals that can last for decades, not just, the hot thing of the moment like crypto yesterday or AI today. He wants enduring value.
And there's the personal side, too.
Yeah, which is also fascinating. He married Elaine Andriensen in 2015, and by all accounts, he's described as pretty family-oriented, especially for someone in that world.
Prioritizing family over constant travel.
Apparently so. Often choosing personal life over just endless business trips. It seems to ground him, give him perspective, which might actually be a huge advantage in that high-stress environment.
And maybe the most unique habit, the art of letting go.
Ah, yes. That's crucial.
He let go of the day-to-day at Facebook early on. He let go of his American citizenship. He let go of, it seems, the need to constantly prove himself in public.
And those things, which look like weaknesses or even betrayals to critics at the time,
Right.
they ironically became his biggest strengths. Letting go freed him up, freed him from these draining public fights, created space to build something different on his own terms.
His silence is strategy.
Absolutely. Calculated strategy.
So let's try and tie this all together. What does it tell us about his overall philosophy?
It seems rooted in making fewer decisions, but making them count, making them irreversible.
Like the citizenship renunciation.
Exactly. That wasn't a spur-of-the-moment thing in 2011. It looks like a rational, thought-out move to align his life with his long-term plan. He was willing to take the heat, endure the criticism then.
For freedom later.
For freedom and strategic advantage later. Yeah.
And connecting that to the bigger picture.
He consistently seems to position himself ahead of the curve. That move to Singapore in 2009, that was anticipating its rise before most people saw it.
He doesn't wait for everyone else to agree.
No, he acts before the crowd gets there. And his philosophy seems to really value balance. Wealth should serve life, not the other way around.
Which helped him avoid burnout, public fights.
It seems so. He's avoided a lot of the drama, the intense scrutiny that's hit some of his peers. He doesn't seem to feel the need to win every single fight.
He picks his battles.
He picks the few that really matter, and he has the discipline, the wisdom maybe, to just walk away from the rest. He turns what looks like a loss into leverage.
It really shows his biggest victory wasn't, avoiding crises altogether. It was transforming them.
Transforming crisis into leverage for the future. Exactly. He's playing the long game decades long.
Yeah.
Seeking positioning that compounds over time, not just quick wins or flashy headlines.
Eduardo Saverin's story. It really is a profound paradox, isn't it?
It truly is.
He walked away from the spotlight, the Silicon Valley glare, yet gained this immense global wealth. He was sort of written out of Facebook's day-to-day story, but he's forever cemented in its history as a co-founder.
Can't erase that.
He turned betrayal into leverage, distance into freedom, and being absent from one boardroom.
Into being present across the entire global investment arena.
He didn't just win. He completely redefined winning.
And the deeper lesson there, I think, is that wealth isn't just money. At its core, it's
freedom to choose.
The freedom to decide where you live, how you spend your time, crucially, which battles you're actually willing to fight. Saverin really embodies that. And he proves pretty conclusively that silence can be incredibly powerful. It's a potent strategy.
It forces you, the listener, to ask yourself, how do you measure success? Is it public recognition? Or is it actual control, actual impact?
Do you just want to be seen as a winner? Or do you want to actually win in the long run, maybe quietly, on your own terms?
So let's turn that question to you listening. If life stripped you of something you'd poured yourself into building, would you fight that battle out in the open, loudly?
Or would you step back, play the long game, strategically?
Which kind of winner would you choose to be? And maybe think about this. What battles are you clinging onto right now in your own life that maybe if you just let them go, could actually unlock more freedom, more long-term leverage for you down the road? Something to think about.